The blue sail and the Undersea in a small fishing village by the shore, where waves gently lapped and seagulls danced in the sky, lived a little girl named Anne. One summer morning, Anine discovered a seashell as big as her palm lying half buried in the sand. When she held it to her ear, instead of the usual sound of the sea, she heard music. The melody was soft like a harp played underwater, followed by a whispering voice. "You who hear this call, set sail at full moon, with the eastern wind and a blue sail." Intrigued by the mysterious message, Anine quietly prepared a small boat and painted its sail a bright turquoise, the color of the ocean, in her drawings. That evening, as the full moon rose, she cast off into the open sea. The boat drifted gently over glowing waters. Bioluminescent fish danced around her like little stars guiding the way. Suddenly, a great wave lifted the boat and swept it down into a whirlpool shimmering with moonlight. When she opened her eyes, Anine found herself in an undersea city, where everything was made of coral, glass, and shimmering light. Seahorses stood guard. Jellyfish floated like street lamps. At the center of the square stood a mermaid queen, cloaked in seaweed silk. "Welcome, listener of the sea's music," the mermaid said. "We need a human heart to solve a riddle. The gate to the ocean-bed garden, keeper of the sea's dreams, is closing." With her sensitivity and imagination, Anine found the key: faith in the unseen. She sang a song part real, part dream, and the gate opened, freeing the schools of fish trapped inside and reviving the flow of ocean dreams. At dawn, Anine awoke in her little boat near the village shore. The shell was still in her hand, and from that day on, whenever she held it to her ear, the sea's melody would play again, a promise that the magical world was still out there, waiting for another brave soul to find it. Chapter 2. The Coral Compass. A week had passed since Anine's mysterious journey to the undersea city. She still kept the seashell safely in a box beside her bed. Some nights, she could hear faint music from it, soft as a lullaby. But one evening, as a storm brewed over the horizon, the music turned urgent, faster, brighter, and layered with a second voice. "The tide has turned. The garden fades. Seek the coral compass before the seventh moon." Unable to ignore the call, Anine packed supplies, wrapped the shell in a scarf, and once again set sail with her turquoise sail fluttering in the wind. Lightning danced far away over the sea, but the water around her boat was eerily calm, as if protected. This time, the journey took her farther, beyond the fishing grounds and into deeper waters where the sea turned indigo. There, a pod of dolphins approached her boat, chirping and circling as if greeting an old friend. One of them nudged a floating object toward her, a piece of coral, shaped like a compass, its center glowing faintly. Anine gently lifted it and saw that the compass didn't point north, it pointed down. Suddenly, a swirl of water pulled her boat gently underwater, but instead of sinking, it glided like a submarine. Bubbles enveloped her like a protective shield. The ocean revealed glowing tunnels, drifting whales the size of clouds, and vast gardens of swaying seagrass. At the heart of it all was a ruined temple made of black coral. Inside, stone carvings showed stories of ancient seakeepers, half human, half creature, who once protected dreams born in the deep. A voice echoed from within. "The garden withers because the coral compass has forgotten the path. Your heart must guide it." Anine, holding the glowing compass close to her chest, closed her eyes and whispered memories of her village, of drawing ships in the sand, of the first time she heard waves as a lullaby. The compass pulsed with warmth, then cast a beam of light toward the horizon, pointing the way to the last dreaming reef, where the garden could be healed. As she returned to her boat, she realized the dolphins were still waiting. One of them let her ride on its back, and they all swam together, chasing the trail of light beneath the sea. The journey wasn't over. It was only just beginning. Chapter 3. The last dreaming reef. The dolphins carried Anine across vast underwater canyons, where ancient shipwrecks lay silently like sleeping giants. She passed glowing trenches where strange fish blinked in colors she didn't even have names for. The coral compass pulsed gently, guiding them through currents, dreams, and time. At last they reached it, a reef unlike any other. It floated not on the ocean floor, but suspended mid-water, like an island of memory. Its coral spires were shaped like dream catchers, and each branch shimmered with images. A child learning to swim, a sailor laughing in the storm, a mother humming a lullaby. This was the last dreaming reef, the heart of the ocean's memory. But something was wrong. The reef's colors were fading. The images flickered like dying candlelight. And in the center, tangled in black seaweed, stood a broken dream bell, a great spiral shell that once rang when the ocean dreamed. A sea turtle older than time drifted down from above. His shell was etched with maps. His eyes were wise and sad. "The bell sleeps," he said. "Without it, the reef forgets. And when the sea forgets how to dream, storms come to the land above." And Neen stepped forward and showed him the coral compass. The turtle nodded. "It must be tuned with a memory, not from the sea, but from you. What is the dearest dream in your heart?" And Neen thought. Was it to explore? To become a sailor? To return to the city below? No, it was simpler. She wanted to protect this world, to let other children hear music in seashells, to believe in the impossible. She walked to the broken dream bell, placed the coral compass inside, and whispered, "I promise I won't forget you." The bell glowed softly. Then it rang, a sound like no other. It was the sound of wonder, of lullabies, of forgotten stories. The reef burst into color, and all around her, dreams danced once more. The turtle smiled and said, "The sea remembers you now." Just as gently as she had arrived, the water began to rise and lift her back toward the surface. Dolphins leapt around her boat. The coral compass floated back into her hands, now quiet but warm. And when she awoke the next morning, drifting peacefully near her village once more, she didn't feel like it had all been a dream. Because now, every time she listened to the seashell, the bell's music played. And somewhere deep beneath the waves, the sea dreamed on. Chapter 4. The dreamkeeper returns and Neen returned to the village at dawn, just as mist still clung to the waves and the fishing boats began drifting out to sea. No one noticed her small boat quietly gliding onto the shore, its turquoise sail still damp with ocean dew. She stepped onto the sand, holding tightly to the seashell and the coral. But even though she was home, Anine knew one thing. She was not the same girl who had each night she listened to the sea. The sound from the shell was no longer a call. It was a whisper, as if the ocean itself were telling her stories. She began to write everything down. Images, sounds, dreams of talking fish, coral cities, and a great bell ringing in the reef of dreams. Then one day, as gray clouds gathered and strange, heavy waves rolled toward the village, Anine felt something was off. The wind wasn't the same. The sea didn't sing. And most telling of all, no one else could hear music from the shell anymore, except her. The coral compass began to vibrate faintly. When she placed it on the floor, it spun in place, then pointed not out to sea, but toward the old lighthouse, long abandoned, where no ships passed anymore. And Neen understood. A dream had gone astray. And if left unfound, it would bring not storms of wind and rain, but storms in the hearts of people. She packed a small bag, paper, ink, the shell, the compass, and this time she did not sail out to sea. She walked inland, following the direction the ocean had shown her. For the first time, her journey would not be underwater, but into the world of humans, where people had forgotten how to dream. Chapter 5. The city that forgot how to sleep. The coral compass led Anine beyond the dunes, past windswept cliffs, and into lands she had never seen. The air grew drier, the sky dimmer, and the hum of the sea became only a faint echo in her shell. Days passed. She followed the compass wherever it spun, trusting it more than maps. Then, at sunset on the third day, she saw it, a city of glass and metal, built into the hillside, glowing even as the sky went dark. It had no name on signs. No birds flew overhead. And most oddly of all, no windows had curtains. The lights never went out. Anine walked its streets and quickly realized something strange. No one in the city looked tired. No one rested. Children played at midnight. Adults worked through dawn. Shops never closed. But there were no songs, no laughter, only a hum, like a machine always running but never stopping. She entered a bookstore with no customers and asked the old shopkeeper, "Why does no one sleep?" He blinked, confused. "Sleep? You mean pause?" Then he shook his head. "We used to, but dreams brought chaos. People woke up wanting more. So we stopped dreaming." And Neen took out her seashell and held it to his ear. Nothing. But when she pressed it to her own, she heard it loud and clear, a distant ringing. Faint, muffled, like a bell underwater. The dream bell. The city had buried its dreams so deep, it could no longer hear the sea's whisper. But the coral compass spun again, and this time pointed not to the lighthouse, not to the shore, but beneath the city itself. She followed it through tunnels, old subway paths, and finally, into a forgotten chamber deep underground. In the center was a fountain, dry and cracked, and inside it lay a mask, delicate and ancient, shaped like a fish with closed eyes. When she touched it, the chamber trembled. A voice, neither male nor female, rose from the walls. "Are you the one who still remembers the tide?" And Neen stepped forward. "I remember, and I came to wake the dream again." The mask shimmered, then rose into the air. Light poured from its eyes, and the dream bell, wherever it was, rang once more. Above, in the sleepless city, people looked up. For the first time in years, a cool breeze passed through the alleys. Lights flickered. A child yawned. Someone sang an old lullaby they didn't know they remembered. And on a rooftop far away, the wind whispered, "She has returned." Chapter 6. The dream eater. The city had begun to stir, not with noise, but with silence. The kind of silence that comes just before someone remembers a song from their childhood, or wakes from a dream they hadn't had in years. But the moment Neen awakened the mask and heard the dream bell echo, something else woke up too. That night, as she rested inside the empty bookstore, the coral compass began to spin wildly. The shell shook in her hands. The air turned cold, though the wind outside was still. Then, in the shadows behind the shelves, it appeared. A tall figure, wrapped in dark mist, with no face, only a mouth that whispered constantly. It didn't walk. It drifted, and wherever it passed, the color drained from the walls. The shopkeeper, asleep nearby, began to toss and mumble. From his mouth, tiny wisps of light emerged, memories, dreams, which the creature caught and swallowed. And Neen stood up. Her hands trembled, but she didn't run. "Who are you?" she asked. The creature's voice was like water poured on ice. "I am what remains when dreams are forgotten, when stories go untold. I am the Dream Eater." And Neen stepped in front of the shopkeeper. "You can't have his dreams. They are already mine," it hissed. He stopped believing. So did they all. "I only gather what they throw away." The coral compass pulsed in her palm. The seashell glowed. And suddenly, Neen understood. This being wasn't evil. It was the result of what we abandon. It was born from all the stories no one finished, songs no one sang, promises to dream again, left behind and left hungry. So she opened her notebook, the one she had carried since the first journey. She read aloud. "A reef that floats between tides. A bell that rings in silence. A girl who listens even when no one else hears." As she read, the creature shrank. Not in anger, but in awe. The words were feeding it in a different way. Not as lost things, but as remembered ones. And Neen stepped closer. "You don't have to eat forgotten dreams. What if you help protect them instead?" The creature stopped, and for the first time, it said nothing. Then bowed. It began to dissolve into thin, dark silk, and from it, a cloak was left behind. Lightweight, shimmering like night waves. When Neen touched it, she heard all the voices of forgotten stories inside. She wrapped it around her shoulders, and in that moment, she became not just a traveler. She became a dreamkeeper. Chapter 7. The dreamkeeper's return wrapped in the cloak of forgotten stories, and Neen felt a power unlike anything before. It wasn't loud or fierce. It was calm, like the deep ocean, and warm, like the sun kissing the waves at dawn. The Dream Eater was gone, but its hunger remained, not for destruction, but for recognition. and Anine knew her journey was far from over. She stepped outside the quiet bookstore. The city was still half awake, stretching as if from a long slumber. The coral compass in her hand pulsed softly, pointing steadily toward the sea. With the cloak flowing behind her, she walked through streets where lights flickered back to life, where people began to yawn, and where dreams tentatively peeked from shadowed corners. At the city's edge, Anine found her small boat waiting, turquoise sail folded but ready. As she sailed out toward the horizon, the ocean greeted her like an old friend. The sea whispered stories through the shell in her pocket, and the compass glowed gently with every swell of the waves. Her mission was clear: to be a bridge between worlds, between the depths of the ocean's dreams and the hopes buried inside every human heart. The stars above sparkled like distant lanterns, guiding her toward new adventures. And somewhere, far beneath the waves, the dream bell waited, its song growing stronger. Anine smiled. This was just the beginning. Chapter 8. Allies of the Deep. As the turquoise sail caught the wind, Anine sailed toward the horizon, feeling the cloak of forgotten stories wrap around her like a protective tide. The ocean was alive with whispers, and the coral compass pulsed gently in her hand. One evening, as the sun dipped low, casting golden streaks across the water, a shimmering shape appeared beside her boat. It was a sea fox, a small, fox-like creature with fur that sparkled like the surface of the sea under moonlight. Its eyes gleamed with curiosity and kindness. The sea fox spoke without words, sending images and feelings directly into Anine's mind. "I am Luma, guardian of the underwater forests. I have watched your journey. The Dreamkeeper needs allies." Before Anine could reply, the water nearby swirled, and from the depths rose a great whale whose skin glistened with bioluminescent patterns, a living map of the oceans. The whale's voice was deep and calm. "I am Cairo, keeper of the ocean's memory. Many dreams have been lost, but some still shimmer beneath the waves. Together, we can protect them." Anine smiled, feeling hope blossom inside her. The Dreamkeeper was no longer alone. With Luma's guidance through the forested reefs and Cairo's ancient wisdom, she learned how to listen more deeply to the currents, the creatures, and the forgotten dreams whispering in the tides. Their first quest together was to find the Veil of Mist, a hidden place where dreams and reality blurred, and where the dream bell's song was faintest. As stars lit the night sky, Anine, Luma, and Cairo sailed into the unknown, ready to face whatever awaited, for the sake of all dreams above and below the waves. Chapter 9. The Veil of Mist. Guided by the gentle glow of Cairo's bioluminescent patterns and Luma's swift movements, Anine sailed closer to the edge of the known ocean. The coral compass hummed softly, its light shifting between colors like a heartbeat. As they approached, a thick mist began to rise from the water, curling and twisting like living smoke. The air grew cooler, the sounds of the world growing distant and muffled. "This is the Veil of Mist," Luma said, her voice a gentle echo in Anine's mind. "A place where the boundary between dreams and waking blurs." Anine felt a shiver of excitement and caution. She gripped the coral compass tightly as the boat slid through the mist, colors and shapes bending and shifting around them. Suddenly, the mist parted, revealing a hidden island floating above the water, its shore lined with glowing flowers and trees whose leaves whispered ancient songs. On the island's center stood a tall figure cloaked in shimmering fabric, neither fully human nor fully sea creature, with eyes that held the weight of forgotten dreams. "Welcome, Dreamkeeper," the figure said, voice like wind over the ocean. "I am Mareth, guardian of the Veil. Few come here, and fewer still leave unchanged." Anine stepped forward, feeling the cloak of forgotten stories tighten around her shoulders. "I've come to listen," she said, "to protect the dreams that slip away." Mareth smiled softly. "Then you must face the echoes, shadows of lost dreams seeking to claim the bell's song for themselves." As the mist thickened, shadowy forms began to rise from the ground, flickering and twisting like smoke caught in a breeze. Anine, Luma, and Cairo prepared for what was to come. The battle for the Dream Bell was only beginning. As the mist thickened, the glowing flowers along the island's shore dimmed, and the whispers of the ancient trees grew louder, weaving a haunting melody that seemed both inviting and warning. Mareth's gaze was steady, calm, as shadowy forms began to materialize from the swirling mist, the echoes. These were neither spirits nor living creatures, but fragments of forgotten dreams and broken hopes, cast away and left to drift in the space between worlds. The echoes flickered and twisted, their shapes constantly changing, sometimes like faces with hollow eyes, sometimes like hands reaching out, yearning to be remembered. Anine felt the weight of their presence deep in her chest, a cold, aching emptiness born from years of neglect and silence. Luma crouched beside her, the sea fox's fur bristling with tension. They feed on forgotten stories, Luma's mind voice warned. If they consume the dream bell's song, all hope of waking dreams may vanish forever. Cairo's massive body tensed beneath the water, his bioluminescent patterns flashing urgently. We must stand together. Their hunger is great, but so is the strength of those who remember. Anine nodded, her fingers tightening around the coral compass. She felt the cloak of forgotten stories shimmer, as if alive with the voices of countless dreamers lending her their strength. The first echo lunged forward, a shadowy wisp swirling with desperation. Anine raised the coral compass, and a soft, radiant light poured from it, illuminating the creature. Instead of retreating, the echo hesitated, its hollow eyes flickering with something like recognition. Anine spoke gently. "You are not lost. You are remembered." The light spread, and for a moment, the echo's form softened, a glimpse of a child laughing, a forgotten song, a moment of hope. But then darker echoes surged in, more desperate and fierce. Luma darted between the shadows, her silver fur glowing as she used bursts of shimmering light to scatter the echoes. Cairo sang a low, resonant call, a whale's ancient melody that seemed to stitch the very air with threads of memory. Anine stepped into the center of the island, where the dream bell hung suspended above a crystalline pedestal, its faint chime barely audible. The echoes converged on the bell, desperate to silence its song. Anine closed her eyes and let the cloak's voices flow through her. She began to sing, not with words but with memories. The warmth of a mother's hug, the thrill of a child's first swim, the quiet peace of moonlight on the ocean. Her voice grew stronger, a chorus of forgotten dreams joining her. The dream bell responded, its chime growing clearer, weaving through the mist and piercing the shadows. The echoes shrieked, dissolving into motes of light, their hunger fading as they were reclaimed by remembrance. Mareth stepped forward, placing a hand on the bell's pedestal. "You have awakened the heart of the Vale," she said. "The balance between dream and wakefulness depends on your courage and compassion." Anine smiled, feeling the cloak warm and steady around her. "I will protect this balance for as long as I can." Luma curled up at her feet, and Cairo's song softened to a gentle hum. The island breathed with new life. The glowing flowers bloomed brighter, the trees whispered joyous tunes, and the mist began to lift, revealing a horizon filled with possibility. As dawn broke, Anine knew her journey was far from over. But with friends by her side, and the dream bell ringing strong, she was ready for whatever came next. Chapter 10. The origins of the dream bell. After the mist cleared and the island's magic settled, Anine, Luma, and Cairo gathered around the glowing dream bell. Mareth's eyes shone with a mixture of pride and sorrow. "The dream bell," Mareth began, "was created long ago at the dawn of time when the sea first met the sky. It is the heart of dreams, a bridge between worlds, holding the power to awaken hope in the hearts of all creatures." Anine traced her fingers over the bell's smooth surface, feeling vibrations like a heartbeat. "But why was it hidden here in the Veil of Mist?" she asked. "Because dreams are fragile," Mareth said. "For centuries they were stolen by dark forces, shadows like the echoes, that sought to consume hope and silence the song of the sea." Cairo's deep voice echoed. "Many guardians have protected the bell before you. Some failed, some became lost. That is why it was hidden where few dare to travel." Luma added, "And the cloak you wear, it holds the memories of those who came before, giving you their strength." Anine took a deep breath, feeling the weight and honor of her role. Suddenly, The coral compass in her hand flared bright blue, pointing toward a distant star just visible on the horizon. Marith nodded. The bell's song calls you onward. There are more places where dreams fade, more hearts that need awakening. And Neen smiled. Then we sail at dawn. As the sun rose, the trio prepared to leave the island. The dream bells chime ringing clear in their hearts, a promise of new adventures on the endless sea of dreams. Chapter 11. The Lighthouse of Lost Light, with the dream bells chime echoing softly in their hearts. Aneen, Luma, and Cairo set sail at dawn. The coral compass pointed unwaveringly toward a distant, lonely shape on the horizon. A towering lighthouse standing on a jagged cliff, its light long extinguished. As they approached, a chill wind swept across the deck. The lighthouse's stones were cracked and worn, tangled with creeping vines and barnacles. The sea around it churned with restless waves, as if guarding secrets hidden beneath. Aneen stepped ashore, feeling the weight of silence pressing in. The coral compass pulsed faintly, then grew warm as she moved closer to the heavy wooden door, which creaked open at her touch. Inside, the lighthouse was dark and hollow. Dust motes danced in the beams of light from cracks in the walls. On the floor lay scattered remnants of old journals, maps, and faded drawings, the records of those who had once guarded the dreams before her. Luma's eyes gleamed in the shadows, and Cairo's soft hum filled the silence. Aneen picked up a worn journal. Its pages told the story of a guardian who had lived centuries ago, a sailor who had tried to protect the dream bell but was overwhelmed by the growing darkness of forgotten dreams. Suddenly, the room trembled. A cold shadow twisted into form, the lingering echo of that fallen guardian, trapped between worlds, yearning to finish what was left undone. Aneen stepped forward, holding the coral compass and speaking softly. "You are remembered. Your journey is not over." The shadow paused, then slowly nodded, its shape softening in the light. Together, they uncovered a hidden chamber beneath the lighthouse, a place where a faint glow pulsed. There, the light of a smaller, ancient bell flickered, a beacon meant to guide lost dreams back to the sea. Aneen understood. The fight to protect dreams was bigger than one place or one time. It was a timeless voyage, and she was not alone. With renewed strength, she vowed to carry the light forward for all who dream and remember. Chapter 12. The Guardian's Legacy. Aneen carefully opened the ancient journal she had found beneath the lighthouse. The faded ink revealed the story of Captain Ira, a brave sailor chosen centuries ago to protect the dream bell. Ira's voice echoed through the pages. "The sea holds all our dreams, but some drift too far and fade into darkness. I vowed to keep the light alive, to guide lost dreams home. But the darkness grows stronger with each passing year. I fear my time is ending, yet hope remains." Aneen felt the weight of Ira's struggle. The echoes of forgotten dreams had nearly swallowed her, yet Ira fought on, a testament to courage and hope. Suddenly, the room glowed softly. The shadow of Ira appeared, no longer menacing but serene, her eyes full of gratitude. "You have awakened the light I could not protect," she whispered. "The legacy is yours now." Aneen reached out, and Ira's spirit passed into the coral compass, filling it with ancient wisdom and strength. Luma nudged Aneen gently. "The Guardian's legacy is more than memory. It is power, the power to heal." Cairo's song swelled, carrying the promise of new horizons. With the lighthouse's beacon rekindled, Aneen knew the journey ahead would be challenging but filled with allies, past and present. As the sun set, she set sail again, the coral compass glowing brighter than ever, guiding her toward the next mystery the dream bell wished to unveil. Chapter 13. The ocean of forgotten stars. The sky was a canvas of twilight as Aneen's small boat cut through calm waters, the coral compass glowing steadily in her hand. The renewed light from the lighthouse behind her faded into the distance, while ahead stretched a vast, mysterious expanse, the ocean of forgotten stars. Marith had told them about this place, a sea where the stars that once guided dreamers fell, lost between waves and time, waiting to be remembered. It was said that this ocean was both beautiful and dangerous, a realm where reality and dreams intertwined, and where even the strongest could lose themselves. As the boat glided forward, Anine felt the cloak of forgotten stories tightening around her like a protective shield. Luma sat alert at her side, eyes gleaming with curiosity, while Cairo's great form moved silently beneath the surface, glowing like a constellation beneath the waves. The coral compass began to pulse faster, its light shifting through every color of the spectrum, a sign they were nearing the heart of the ocean. Suddenly, the water around them shimmered and stilled. The stars overhead seemed to dip closer, their reflections glittering on the waves like jewels scattered across a dark velvet cloth. Anine leaned over the edge, watching as tiny lights flickered beneath the surface, faint glimmers of fallen stars, trapped in the ocean's embrace. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "But the stars here are lost," Luma replied. "They were once beacons, guiding dreams and sailors alike. Now they're trapped between worlds, forgotten." From the depths, a soft song rose, not from the dream bell, but a new melody, haunting and fragile, weaving through the night air. Cairo's voice rumbled beneath her. "This is the song of the lost. If we do not act, these stars will fade forever, and with them countless dreams." Anine nodded, determination burning in her chest. "Then we must find the source and awaken them." Guided by the compass, the trio ventured deeper into the ocean. The stars' reflections grew stronger, but so did the strange mist curling over the water's surface. From within the mist emerged shadowy figures, not like the echoes, but creatures born from forgotten hopes and fears, each carrying fragments of dreams they could no longer hold. One figure approached, translucent and shimmering with stardust. "I am Nereus," it said softly, "guardian of the ocean of forgotten stars. Long ago, I was charged with protecting the fallen lights, but as memories faded, so did my power." Anine reached out, her voice steady. "We will help you restore the stars. Dreams must not be lost." Nereus nodded, a tear of light falling like a raindrop into the sea. Together, they journeyed to the ocean's depths where the largest cluster of stars lay dormant. Trapped inside an ancient coral labyrinth, woven with glowing vines and guarded by a powerful shadow, the night wraith. The wraith was a swirling mass of darkness, hungry for light and dreams. It hissed, sending waves of cold that threatened to extinguish the very air around them. Anine raised the coral compass, now pulsing with the combined strength of the dream bell, the guardian's legacy, and the cloak of forgotten stories. She began to sing the melody of dreams, a song of hope, memory, and courage, weaving her voice with Cairo's deep song and Luma's shimmering light. The night wraith shrieked, retreating as the stars' light grew brighter, their glow filling the labyrinth and breaking the shadow's hold. With Nereus's guidance, Anine carefully touched the largest star, whispering, "Wake." The star pulsed once, then exploded into a shower of brilliant light that rose to the sky, restoring a new constellation to the heavens. The ocean of forgotten stars shimmered with renewed life, and the song of dreams echoed far beyond the horizon. As dawn approached, Anine looked to her friends, her heart full. "Our journey is endless," she said softly, "but so is the power of hope." With the coral compass glowing brighter than ever, they set their sights on the next horizon, knowing that wherever dreams faded, the Dreamkeeper would follow. Chapter 14. Shadows beneath the waves. The first light of dawn painted the sky in shades of pink and gold as Anine's boat drifted gently across the shimmering surface of the ocean of forgotten stars. The constellation they had just restored sparkled brightly above, a beacon of hope that seemed to pulse in time with the coral compass in her hand. But the ocean's surface was only the beginning. Nereus, the shimmering guardian, turned to Anine with a grave expression. "Though the stars are awakened, not all darkness has fled. Deep beneath the waves lies a shadow older than time, the abyssal shade. It feeds on forgotten dreams and fears, growing stronger with every lost hope." Luma's fur bristled with unease, her eyes scanning the horizon. Cairo's great form circled beneath the boat, his bioluminescent glow dimming as if sensing the creeping darkness. Anine took a steadying breath. "Then we must face it. The balance of dreams depends on it." Nearest nodded and gestured toward the water. With a wave of her shimmering hand, the ocean's surface parted, revealing a swirling spiral of light, a portal into the depths. The trio exchanged determined glances and descended. The descent beneath the waves, the world transformed into an underwater realm bathed in eerie, ethereal light. Schools of glowing fish flickered past, and towering coral spires stretched toward the surface like ancient monuments. But as they ventured deeper, the water grew colder, shadows lengthened, and the pressure of forgotten fears pressed down on their hearts. Anine felt the cloak of forgotten stories tighten, a protective embrace, but also a reminder of the weight they carried. Ahead lay the entrance to the abyssal labyrinth, a sprawling network of tunnels woven with bioluminescent coral and shifting shadows. Nearest whispered, "The shade hides here. It twists dreams into nightmares, trapping souls in endless darkness." The abyssal labyrinth inside the labyrinth, the light from the coral compass flickered uncertainly. Strange echoes whispered in the darkness. Lost memories, anguished cries, and distant laughter warped into something sinister. Luma darted forward, her glowing for illuminating the path. "We must hold on to hope," she urged, "or we risk being lost ourselves." Suddenly, the shadows stirred, coalescing into shapes that reached out with tendrils of cold smoke. Anine raised the coral compass high, its light flaring and pushing back the darkness. From the shadows emerged the abyssal shade, a towering figure cloaked in swirling black mist, eyes glowing with a hollow, hungry light. Its voice was a low growl that shook the water around them. "Why do you chase the light, Dreamkeeper? Dreams are fragile, they are meant to fade." Anine's voice rang clear, steady as a bell. "Dreams are the sparks of life, the pulse of hope. They live as long as we remember and believe." The shade lunged, sending waves of darkness crashing against them. The battle of light and shadow Cairo surged forward, releasing a deep, resonant song that vibrated through the water, weaving threads of light into a shield. Luma's shimmering fur burst into radiant flames of color, dancing through the shadows to distract the shade. Anine focused all her strength into the coral compass, singing the melody of dreams she had learned from the dream bell, the guardians, and the ocean itself. Her voice wove through the water like a ribbon of light, wrapping around the shade, loosening its grip on the shadows. The abyssal shade shrieked, its form flickering as it tried to resist the tide of hope. With a final surge, Anine reached deep into the cloak of forgotten stories, pulling forth the memories of all who had ever dared to dream. The laughter of children, the warmth of a mother's touch, the courage of heroes long gone. The light exploded outward, filling the labyrinth and shattering the darkness. The shade dissolved into motes of shimmering stardust, carried away by the currents. Aftermath and new beginnings as the water calmed and the labyrinth brightened, Nearest smiled softly. "You have saved the ocean of forgotten stars. The dreams you restored will guide countless souls for generations." Anine felt the weight of exhaustion, but also a profound peace. She looked at Luma and Cairo, friends and guardians on this endless journey. The coral compass glowed brighter than ever, its light now steady and warm. "We must keep sailing," Anine said quietly, "for there are still dreams to protect, stories to remember, and hope to carry forward." As they ascended toward the surface, the first rays of sunlight pierced the water, illuminating the vast ocean, endless, mysterious, and alive with possibility. Above, the stars twinkled in a sky renewed by their courage. And so, the Dreamkeeper's voyage continued, a journey of light through shadow, a song of hope carried on the waves. Chapter 15. The secret of the dream bell. The boat drifted gently on the calm sea as Anine, Luma, and Cairo broke the surface, the morning sun casting golden rays across the water. The ocean of forgotten stars now sparkled with renewed light, and the constellation above seemed to pulse with a quiet rhythm, a heartbeat in the vastness of the sky. Yet, Anine's heart beat faster with a growing question, a question that had lingered ever since they first encountered the dream bell. What was its true origin? Mareth's words echoed in her mind. The dream bell was created long ago, when sea met sky, but its power is ancient, older than even the stars we restored. With a determined breath, Anine held the coral compass tightly, feeling its steady glow pulse beneath her fingers. "It's time to learn the truth," she said softly. The call of the deep, the compass's light shifted suddenly, turning from warm gold to a deep sapphire blue, a signal guiding them toward a hidden place beneath the waves, the sanctuary of the first dreamers. Legend spoke of this sanctuary as a realm where the first guardians had lived, a secret island submerged beneath the ocean, preserved by magic and memory. Nereus reappeared beside them, her form shimmering like liquid starlight. "The sanctuary holds the answers you seek. But be warned, its knowledge comes with a price. Not all truths are easy to bear." Anine nodded, steeling herself. With Nereus's help, they descended into the deep once more, passing through swirling currents that glowed with ethereal light. As they neared the sanctuary, an enormous dome of crystalline coral rose from the ocean floor, enclosing a breathtaking underwater garden filled with glowing plants and ancient carvings. The garden of memories inside the sanctuary. Time seemed to flow differently. The water was still and clear, and the air buzzed softly with forgotten magic. Anine stepped carefully among the luminous flora, feeling the pulse of old dreams beneath her feet. In the center of the garden stood a grand pedestal, carved from coral and pearl, upon which rested a smaller, ancient bell, older and more worn than the dream bell they knew. As Anine reached out to touch it, the bell rang, a sound so pure it sent ripples of light through the water, illuminating the carvings on the sanctuary's walls. The carvings told a story. Long ago, before the world as they knew it existed, there was only the vast sea of dreams, a boundless ocean of possibility and hope. From this sea, the first dreamers emerged, beings born from starlight and memory, charged with nurturing dreams and weaving them into the fabric of reality. They forged the dream bell as a beacon, a source of power to keep dreams alive and to guard against the encroaching darkness that threatened to consume them. But over time, as mortal worlds rose and fell, the connection between the dream bell and the first dreamers faded, and the bell's power became vulnerable to shadow. A choice revealed Anine felt a sudden surge of energy flow from the ancient bell to her coral compass. Visions flooded her mind, scenes of past guardians, battles between light and darkness, and a glimpse of the first dreamers themselves, radiant and serene. But the vision also revealed a dire truth. The dream bell's power was finite. Each time it awakened dreams, it used a part of itself. If its strength ever fully faded, dreams would be lost forever, and with them, hope. The first dreamers had hidden a secret, a way to renew the bell's power, but it required a sacrifice, a willing heart, one willing to become a part of the dream bell itself, to keep its light burning for eternity. Anine's breath caught. The choice before her was clear. To protect the dreams of all, she might have to give up her own place in the waking world. She looked to Luma and Cairo, whose eyes shone with unwavering trust. "We will face this together," she whispered. The awakening with a deep breath, Anine placed her hand on the ancient bell. The sanctuary pulsed with radiant energy as the coral compass flared in response. A wave of light cascaded outward, merging the power of the first dreamers with her own spirit and the memories of all who had protected dreams before. The dream bell above the waves rang out, its sound richer, stronger, a beacon that would never fade. Anine felt warmth flood through her, a connection to the ocean, the stars, and the endless dreamscape. She was no longer just a guardian. She had become part of the very heart of dreams. New horizons as they ascended to the surface, the sun rose higher, scattering diamonds across the water. Anine's voice carried a new confidence as she spoke to her friends. The dream bell's secret is our strength, but it is also our responsibility. We will sail forward, protecting the fragile light of dreams, no matter the cost. Luma wagged her tail, and Cairo's melodic song filled the morning air. The coral compass glowed steady in Anine's hand, a symbol of hope and endless possibility. Beyond the horizon lay countless mysteries, new places where dreams flickered, waiting to be saved. And Anine was ready. Chapter 16. The voyage to the Vale of Whispers. The days that followed the awakening felt both heavy and light, as if Anine carried the weight of countless dreams while floating on clouds of hope. The coral compass pulsed softly in her palm, its glow steady like a heartbeat, a constant reminder of her new bond with the dream bell. Luma and Cairo remained steadfast by her side, their presence a comfort in the vast, unpredictable ocean. One evening, as the sky blushed with the colors of sunset, the compass shifted suddenly, its light flickering with urgent energy. It pointed toward a thin, shimmering line on the horizon that seemed to ripple and waver like a curtain made of mist. Nereus reappeared beside them, her voice like a gentle breeze. The Vale of Whispers, a realm where dreams and reality entwine. Many who enter lose their way, caught between the two worlds. The dream bell calls you there now, Anine. It is a place where your new power will be tested. Anine nodded, her gaze steady. Then we sail forward. No dream can be lost, not while I still hold the light. Crossing the veil as their boat neared the shimmering line, the air grew thick with whispered voices, fragments of forgotten hopes, unspoken fears, and half-remembered dreams. The veil pulsed and shifted, warping the sky and sea until Anine could barely tell where one ended and the other began. Suddenly, the world around them blurred, colors melting into shapes that were at once familiar and strange. Ghostly figures appeared, some friendly, some lost, all caught between waking and sleeping. Luma's fur shimmered as she growled softly. We must hold on tightly to what is real. Cairo sang a deep, grounding melody, weaving a protective cocoon around them. Anine gripped the coral compass, letting its steady light anchor her spirit. The whispering shadows within the veil, they encountered the whispering shadows, echoes of forgotten dreams twisted by fear and doubt. One shadow took the form of a lost child, reaching out with pleading eyes. Another appeared as a storm cloud, roaring with anger and sorrow. Anine spoke gently to each, her voice carrying the melody of hope. You are not lost. You are remembered. With every word, the shadows softened, their forms brightening and merging back into the veil's shimmering light. But deeper within the mist, a darker presence waited. The Veil Warden, a guardian who had turned to shadow, jealous of the dream bell's power and determined to trap dreams forever. The duel of dreams, the Veil Warden emerged, a towering figure woven from night and silence. Its voice echoed like a cold wind. Dreams are fragile. They belong to me now. Anine raised the coral compass, her voice rising in a powerful song that blended courage, memory, and the unyielding light of the dream bell. The battle unfolded in waves of sound and light, the Veil Warden weaving illusions and shadows to confuse and trap them. But Anine, strengthened by the legacy of the first dreamers and the bond with her friends, stood firm. With a final, brilliant crescendo, her song shattered the darkness, and the Veil Warden dissolved into a cascade of sparkling light. A new dawn as the veil's mist lifted, the horizon cleared into brilliant blue skies and calm seas. The coral compass now glowed with a serene light, its pulse steady and sure. Anine smiled, her heart full. The dream bell's light shines brighter with every challenge. We will sail onward, to wherever dreams need us most. Luma barked happily, and Cairo's song rose in celebration. Together, they faced the endless ocean, ready for the adventures still waiting beyond the horizon. Chapter 17. The Island of Echoing Dreams. The sun hung high in the sky as Anine's boat sailed steadily across the calm, endless ocean. The coral compass shimmered softly, its light guiding them toward a place marked by a faint ripple in the air. A place whispered about in legends, known as the Island of Echoing Dreams. Nereus's voice drifted beside them, her tone both curious and cautious. This island is a place where dreams take physical form. Echoes of the past linger here, memories, hopes, even regrets. Many who come seeking answers become trapped in endless loops of their own dreams. Luma padded nervously along the deck, ears twitching. Cairo's soft glow dimmed, as if sensing the weight of the island's magic. Anine's gaze was steady. We've faced shadows and veils. Now we must face echoes. There is always hope, even in forgotten dreams. Arrival at the island. As the boat neared the shore, the air grew thick with a sweet fragrance, like jasmine and old paper. The island's trees shimmered faintly, their leaves whispering in the breeze as if telling forgotten stories. Stepping onto the sand, Anine felt the pulse of countless dreams beneath her feet. Some joyful, some sorrowful, but all alive. The coral compass hummed softly, pointing toward the heart of the island, where a towering ancient tree stood. Its bark was carved with symbols glowing faintly in the fading light. "This is the Dreamroot tree," Nereus explained. "It anchors the island's dreams, holding memories from generations past." The Dreamroot's secret approaching the tree, Anine reached out to touch its glowing bark. Instantly, visions flooded her mind. Glimpses of dreamers long gone, their hopes and fears echoing through time. But the visions grew darker, a looping shadow of loss and regret that threatened to consume the tree's light. Suddenly, a figure appeared, a young woman with eyes full of sorrow. "I am Sarah," she said softly, once a dreamer lost to her own regrets. "I guard the Dreamroot, but my pain has trapped me here, echoing endlessly." Anine stepped closer, her voice gentle yet firm. "Sarah, you are not alone. Dreams live because we remember and heal. Let me help you find peace." Healing the echoes together, Anine, Luma, and Cairo journeyed through the island's dreamscape, guiding Sarah through her memories, reliving joys, facing fears, and embracing forgiveness. Each step freed fragments of light from the Dreamroot tree, which bloomed brighter with every healed memory. Sarah's sorrow softened into hope, her form shimmering with renewed light. With a final touch, Anine sang a melody of healing, a song that bound past and present, mending the echoes that had trapped the island. The island awakens, the Dreamroot tree burst into radiant bloom, petals of starlight drifting through the air like gentle snowflakes. The island's magic lifted, and the once shadowed memories transformed into vibrant dreams, ready to inspire new generations. Sarah smiled gratefully, her voice echoing like a gentle breeze. "Thank you, Dreamkeeper. Because of you, I am free, and so are these dreams." As Anine gazed across the island, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The ocean stretched endlessly before them, full of mysteries, challenges, and dreams waiting to be protected. With the coral compass glowing steadily, Anine, Luma, and Cairo set sail once more, ready to follow the call of dreams wherever it might lead. Chapter 18. The sirens of the shimmering reef. The endless ocean sparkled under the midday sun as Anine's boat cut gently through the turquoise waves. The coral compass glowed softly in her hand, steady as ever, guiding them toward their next destination. The shimmering reef, a place said to hold both great beauty and deep danger. Nereus's voice sounded from the shimmering mist around them, calm yet serious. "The sirens dwell here. They are protectors of the ocean's secrets, singing songs that can both soothe and ensnare. Many who hear their melodies lose themselves forever, caught between reality and dream." Luma's fur stood on end, and Cairo's glowing fins flickered nervously. Anine looked ahead, eyes bright with resolve. "We must listen carefully, but not lose ourselves. The ocean's heart beats in every song." Arrival at the reef. As they neared the shimmering reef, the water around the boat sparkled with an otherworldly light. Coral towers rose like glass spires, refracting sunlight into rainbows that danced across the waves. Suddenly, voices rose in a haunting harmony, the siren's song. The melodies were beautiful beyond words, weaving feelings of longing, peace, and ancient wisdom. Anine felt a stirring deep within her soul, memories and dreams mingling with the music. But she gripped the coral compass tighter, anchoring herself in the present. From the depths, figures emerged, the sirens, radiant beings with shimmering tails and eyes like liquid starlight. Their song shifted, beckoning yet warning. The sirens challenged the lead siren, whose voice was both thunder and whisper spoke. "To hear our song is to glimpse the ocean's soul. But to join us, you must prove your heart is true, that your dreams are not bound by fear or doubt." Anine stepped forward, her voice steady. "I carry the light of the dream bell and the hopes of countless souls. My heart is open, but my will is strong." The sirens smiled, their song rising in a powerful crescendo that stirred the sea. Anine closed her eyes, letting the melody wash over her. Memories of her journey, the friends she had made, the battles fought, and the dreams saved. The test of the heart the siren's song transformed into visions, beautiful yet challenging scenes that tested Nin's resolve. She saw herself lost in endless waters, alone and forgotten. She faced shadows of doubt whispering she was not strong enough. She glimpsed the pain of those whose dreams had faded. But with every vision, Nin's song of hope grew stronger, blending with the siren's melody in a dance of light and sound. Her courage and love broke through the illusions, and the siren's eyes shone with respect. A gift of light, the lead siren extended a hand, offering a glowing pearl that pulsed with oceanic magic. "This is the heart of the reef," she said. "It will deepen your connection to the ocean and the dreams it holds. Use it wisely, Dreamkeeper." And Nin accepted the pearl gratefully, feeling its warmth spread through her like the tide's gentle embrace. With a final harmonious note, the sirens dove beneath the waves, their song lingering like a promise in the air. Sailing onward, the coral compass glowed brighter than ever, now infused with the magic of the heart of the reef. And Nin looked at Luma and Cairo, her smile radiant. "The ocean's secrets are vast, but together we can face whatever comes." As the boat sailed toward the horizon, the sea sparkled with endless possibility, a world where dreams and reality intertwined beneath the shimmering waves. Chapter 19. The Festival of Tides. After days of sailing beneath a sky streaked with clouds and sunlight, Nin's boat reached the shores of a bustling coastal village nestled between cliffs and the sea. The air was alive with laughter, music, and the scent of salt and blooming flowers. Nereus appeared beside them, her eyes sparkling with delight. "This is Morelia, a village where the people honor the ocean and its dreams every year during the Festival of Tides. It is a time when the barrier between dreams and reality is thinnest, a perfect place to rest and learn." Luma wagged her tail excitedly, and Cairo's fins shimmered with vibrant colors. And Nin felt a warm smile spread across her face. "Let's join the celebration. The ocean's heart beats strongest in its people." A village alive with magic, the villagers welcomed them with open arms, their faces bright with joy and curiosity. Children ran through the streets carrying lanterns shaped like seashells and starfish, while elders told tales of ancient sea spirits and dream guardians. At the center of the village stood a towering arch made of driftwood and glowing coral, the Gateway of Dreams. It was said that crossing through it during the festival would bring clarity and inspiration to those who believed. And Nin and her friends joined the procession, the coral compass glowing softly in her hand as if resonating with the village's magic. The dance of the waves as twilight painted the sky with purples and golds, the villagers gathered by the shore for the dance of the waves. Music filled the air, rhythmic drums, soft flutes, and the gentle hum of voices rising in harmony. And Nin felt the magic swirl around her, the dream bell's power mingling with the ocean breeze. She stepped into the dance, moving with the rhythm, her heart light and free. Luma barked joyfully, chasing the flickering lights of fireflies, while Cairo sang a melody that blended perfectly with the festival's music. A message in the moonlight later, beneath the silver glow of the full moon, and Nin stood by the water's edge. The coral compass pulsed warmly, and from the depths, a soft light emerged, a shimmering figure shaped from moonlight and waves. It was the spirit of the ocean itself, smiling kindly. "You carry the light of dreams far and wide," the spirit said. "But even the brightest light needs rest and renewal. Remember, Dreamkeeper, to nurture your own heart as you nurture others' dreams." And Nin nodded thoughtfully. "Thank you. I will." The spirit's form faded into the night, leaving behind a trail of sparkling water droplets that twinkled like stars. New bonds and new dreams. The Festival of Tides continued long into the night, a celebration of hope, memory, and the endless dance between dreams and reality. As dawn approached, Nin felt renewed, her spirit refreshed by the village's warmth and the ocean's gentle embrace. With Luma and Cairo by her side, and the coral compass glowing bright, she was ready to set sail again. The ocean stretched endlessly before them, a vast world of dreams waiting to be discovered, protected, and shared. Chapter 20. The deep song of the abyss. The sun had barely risen when Aneen's boat left Marelia behind, the village's glowing lanterns fading into the distance like tiny stars swallowed by the morning mist. The coral compass hummed quietly, guiding them toward a place few dared to explore, the abyssal trench, the deepest and most mysterious part of the ocean. Nereus's voice carried on the cool sea breeze, tinged with both respect and caution. The abyssal trench holds secrets older than time itself. Its depths are home to creatures and magic forgotten by most. The Dream Bell's light will be tested here as never before. Luma's paws made soft pattering sounds on the deck, her senses alert to the sudden chill in the air. Cairo's glow dimmed, as if the light itself was cautious. Aneen's eyes shone with determination. Then we must be ready. Dreams are never truly lost, no matter how deep they fall. Descending into darkness as the boat sailed toward the trench, the sea grew colder and darker. The sky above was a canvas of swirling gray clouds, and the water beneath them shifted from turquoise to deep indigo. The coral compass began to glow brighter, casting a circle of warm light that seemed to push back the encroaching shadows. Nereus explained softly, "The deeper we go, the more the veil between dreams and reality thins. Hold tightly to your light, Aneen. The abyss will show you both your greatest fears and your strongest hopes." The water around the boat shimmered, and suddenly, they found themselves floating not on the surface, but slowly descending into the ocean's depths, as if the boat itself was a living creature diving into the heart of the sea. The realm of the abyssal guardians. The deeper they sank, the more strange and wondrous the world became. Giant bioluminescent creatures drifted silently past, their bodies glowing with ancient light. Towering coral spires rose like underwater castles, covered in delicate, shimmering tendrils. From the shadows emerged the abyssal guardians, colossal beings woven from coral, stone, and starlight. Their eyes glowed with wisdom and ancient power. One guardian, shaped like a giant seahorse with flowing fins of crystal, spoke in a voice that rumbled like the ocean floor itself. "To enter the abyss is to face the truth within. What do you seek, Dreamkeeper?" Aneen lifted the coral compass higher, its light steady and strong. "I seek to protect the dreams of all who sail these waters, to bring hope to places where darkness lingers." The guardians regarded her silently, then parted like the tides, granting passage deeper into the trench. The song of shadows deeper still, the darkness thickened. The waters grew colder, and strange shadows moved just beyond the light's reach. A haunting melody began to echo through the trench, a song of sorrow and longing, pulling at Aneen's heart. Images appeared in the water, lost sailors, forgotten dreamers, and ancient storms that had swallowed whole fleets. Their voices joined the song, a chorus of grief and hope intertwined. Aneen's grip tightened on the coral compass as she began to sing in return, a song of courage, memory, and the unbreakable bond between dreamers. Her voice wove through the shadows, brightening them with threads of light. The heart of the abyss, at the trench's deepest point, a massive crystal pulsed with energy. The heart of the abyss, a source of both immense power and deep sorrow. Guarding it was a creature of legend, the abyssal Leviathan, a magnificent beast covered in glowing runes, its eyes reflecting the stars themselves. The Leviathan's voice was a low, sonorous hum. The heart holds the dreams that fell too deep, those forgotten or feared. To protect them is to accept both light and shadow within yourself. Aneen stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. "I accept. Dreams are made of all parts, joy and sorrow, hope and fear. I will carry them all." With her words, the coral compass and the heart of the abyss began to resonate, sending waves of shimmering light through the trench. The Leviathan bowed its massive head in respect, and the shadows around them softened into radiant forms of light and color. Rising with the dawn as dawn's first light touched the ocean's surface, Aneen and her companions rose from the depths, their hearts heavier yet stronger. The coral compass now glowed with the deep, steady pulse of the abyss itself, a reminder that even in the darkest places, dreams endure. Aneen smiled softly at Luma and Cairo. "We have much to protect and many dreams to save. The ocean is vast, but together, We are stronger than any shadow." With the horizon wide open before them, they sailed onward, toward new adventures, new friends, and the endless dance of dreams and reality beneath the waves. Chapter 21. The cosmic tides and the starry voyage. The ocean beneath them rippled gently as Anin's boat sailed into the twilight, the coral compass glowing with a steady pulse, its light now mingling with a faint, star-like shimmer. Nereus's voice floated on the warm breeze, filled with wonder. The ocean and sky are mirrors of each other. Tonight, the cosmic tides awaken, a rare celestial event where the stars descend close to the sea and dreams become as real as the waves. Luma stretched happily on the deck, while Cairo's glow brightened, casting dancing lights like constellations around them. Anin's eyes lifted toward the horizon, where the first stars of evening blinked alive. The dream bell has guided us here for a reason. We must be ready to embrace whatever lies beyond the horizon. The arrival of the cosmic tides as darkness deepened, the sea around the boat began to shimmer with ethereal light, not just from the coral compass, but from the very water itself. Tiny sparks rose from the waves, floating upward like glowing fireflies, and the stars above seemed to pulse in harmony. The air hummed with magic, and from the horizon, a glowing pathway appeared, a bridge of light stretching between ocean and sky. Nereus explained softly, "This is the path of the cosmic tides. It appears only once every century, inviting dreamers to journey beyond the sea into the realm of stars." Setting sail on the starry bridge with a breath of anticipation, Anin guided the boat onto the luminous pathway. The world transformed. The waves beneath became a river of light, the sky all around filled with swirling galaxies and shimmering nebulae. Luma watched in awe as the constellations danced closer, and Cairo's fins sparkled like stardust. The coral compass's glow deepened into a radiant beacon, illuminating the vast cosmic sea that stretched endlessly in every direction. The star guardians welcomed suddenly. Figures emerged from the starlit mist. The star guardians, ethereal beings woven from light and cosmic energy. Their voices chimed like celestial bells. "Welcome, Dreamkeeper. You have crossed the threshold between ocean and sky. Here, dreams take shape among the stars, and the fate of many worlds is intertwined." The lead guardian extended a shimmering hand. "To continue, you must prove your heart's strength and your resolve to protect the fragile balance between dreams and reality." Trial of the Nebula Heart, Anin nodded with calm determination. The star guardians guided her to the heart of a glowing nebula, a swirling cloud of light and color. Inside, she faced visions unlike any before, a universe unraveling as forgotten dreams fade away, stars dimming under the weight of despair and silence, her own fears of failing those who depend on her. Yet through it all, Anin sang her song of hope, a melody woven from every lesson, every friendship, every victory. Her voice lit the nebula from within, transforming shadow into radiant constellations. A gift from the stars, the star guardians smiled, their forms shimmering with approval. They bestowed upon Anin a brilliant crystal, the Nebula Heart, a token of cosmic trust and power. "This crystal will guide you through the darkest nights and the most uncertain seas," the lead guardian said. "Use it to protect the dreams that light the world." With the Nebula Heart glowing alongside the coral compass, Anin felt a surge of strength and clarity unlike ever before. Returned to the ocean's embrace as the star guardians faded into the cosmic glow, the luminous pathway gently carried Anin's boat back toward the ocean. The dawn was breaking, painting the waves with soft hues of pink and gold. Anin looked out over the sea, her heart full of hope and purpose. The journey was far from over, but with the magic of stars and ocean combined, she knew she could face whatever dreams or shadows awaited. Luma barked happily, and Cairo's light pulsed in joyful rhythm. Together, they sailed forward, toward endless horizons, infinite dreams, and the mysteries yet to come. Chapter 22. The Whispering Currents and the Lost City. After their celestial voyage along the cosmic tides, Anin and her companions sailed into calmer waters beneath a sky still tinged with the soft glow of dawn. The coral compass pulsed gently, its light mingling now with the newly acquired nebula heart, casting iridescent colors on the waves. Nereus's voice broke the peaceful silence, tinged with intrigue. There are currents in this ocean that carry whispers, echoes of dreams long forgotten. They flow toward a place few have seen, the lost city of Lyria. Luma's ears perked up, and Cairo's fins twitched with curiosity. Anin's eyes sparkled. A city of forgotten dreams. It sounds like a place we must find. Who knows what stories and powers lie hidden there? Following the whispering currents guided by the coral compass and the nebula heart, the boat glided onto a narrow, shimmering current. The water around them rippled softly, carrying faint voices and melodies that seemed almost like a lullaby. The deeper they sailed into the current, the clearer the whispers became, voices of dreamers long past, calling out across time and water. Anin listened carefully, letting the voices guide her heart and mind as much as the magical instruments in her hands. The gates of Lyria through a veil of mist, a vast structure emerged from the depths. The lost city of Lyria, its towers and arches shimmering with coral and crystal, bathed in an eternal twilight glow. The city was both haunting and beautiful, alive with memories trapped in every stone and bubble. At the city's entrance stood two towering statues, guardians carved from ancient coral, their eyes glowing with the light of dreams. Nereus whispered, "Only those who carry the light of true hope may enter." Anin stepped forward, the coral compass and nebula heart glowing brightly. The statue's eyes flared, and the gates slowly opened with a sound like whispered dreams unfurling. Exploring the city of dreams inside, the city was a maze of shimmering streets and glowing gardens, where memories floated like bubbles and echoes of past joys and sorrows mingled in the air. Anin and her friends wandered through ancient plazas, discovering murals that told stories of dreamers from long ago, artists, sailors, children, and guardians like herself. In the heart of Lyria lay the Dream Archive, a vast hall filled with floating scrolls and glowing orbs, records of dreams that had been lost or abandoned. The shadow of forgotten fear, but all was not peaceful. As they explored deeper, a creeping shadow began to spread through the city, a dark force feeding on forgotten fears and regrets. Anin felt its cold touch, a silent whisper urging doubt and despair. The coral compass flickered, the nebula heart dimmed slightly. Luma growled softly, and Cairo's glow wavered. Facing the shadow at the city's center, a swirling vortex of darkness pulsed, the source of the shadow's power. Anin stood firm, her voice steady. "Dreams are meant to shine, not be lost to fear. I will not let this darkness claim what we fight for." She raised the coral compass and the nebula heart, their combined light exploding in a radiant wave that pushed back the shadow. The darkness hissed, then shattered into shimmering fragments that drifted away like stardust. A new light for Lyria with the shadow gone. The lost city of Lyria began to glow brighter, its ancient magic rekindled. The Dream Archive scrolls and orbs shimmered with renewed energy, and the voices of forgotten dreamers sang softly in gratitude. Anin smiled, her heart swelling with hope. This city's dreams are alive again, and so are the dreams of every soul connected to them. Sailing toward tomorrow as they left Lyria behind, the coral compass and nebula heart pulsed with a warm, steady light, a beacon for all the dreams yet to be found and protected. The ocean stretched before them, endless and full of promise. Anin looked to her friends, feeling their strength and trust. The journey continues, and together we will keep the light of dreams burning bright. The boat sailed onward, cutting through whispering currents toward new adventures, mysteries, and the infinite dance of ocean and stars. Chapter 23. The echoes of the starborn. The sun hung low on the horizon, casting long, golden streaks across the calm ocean. The gentle rocking of the boat was the only sound, accompanied by the soft pulse of the coral compass and the nebula heart glowing side by side. Anin stood at the bow, gazing toward the distant horizon where sea met sky. The whispering currents had led them beyond known waters, into a realm where the boundary between dream and reality grew thinner. Nereus approached quietly, her voice calm but filled with wonder. "We are near, Anin. The stars themselves guide us now, to the place where the starborn once walked the earth and swam the seas. Their echoes linger still. Luma patted softly at Anin's feet, sensing the growing energy in the air. Cairo's light shimmered, casting constellations that seemed to dance across the deck. The arrival at Starborn Cove, the boat entered a secluded cove, surrounded by cliffs that sparkled with crystal formations catching the fading light. At the center of the cove lay ruins, ancient stones etched with glowing symbols that pulsed faintly like heartbeat rhythms. As Anin stepped onto the shore, a gentle hum filled the air. The ruins seemed alive, resonating with a power both ancient and familiar. From the shadows of the stones emerged a figure, tall and radiant, with eyes like distant galaxies. She was a starborn, a guardian of cosmic dreams. "I am Elora," she said, her voice a melodic echo of starlight. "Long ago, our people nurtured the dreams of worlds. But a darkness fractured our light, scattering echoes across the seas. You carry their hope." The lost legacy Elora led Anin and her friends through the ruins, revealing murals and artifacts that told the story of the starborn, beings who once bridged the heavens and ocean, dream and reality. "The dream bell you carry," Elora explained, "was forged in the heart of a dying star. It is a beacon for those who dare to dream beyond the ordinary." But the darkness that had fractured their light was not gone. It lurked still, a shadow seeking to swallow the dreams of all worlds. "A call for unity. We cannot face this alone," Elora said, her gaze steady. "The echoes of the starborn live in many places, in the ocean's depths, the forest's heart, even in the stars above. We must unite these echoes to restore balance." Anin nodded, feeling the weight and honor of her mission deepen. With Elora's guidance, they began seeking other echoes, allies and relics scattered across the lands and seas, each holding a piece of the starborn's lost light. A new challenge emerges, but as they prepared to journey further, the shadow stirred. Dark shapes moved in the waters nearby, unseen but felt, a growing threat that hungered for the power of the dream bell and the nebula heart. Anin's heart steeled. "We must move quickly. The darkness grows, but so does our light." Luma barked fiercely, and Cairo's glow flared brightly, ready for what lay ahead. Setting sail into the unknown with Elora joining their crew, the boat set sail once more, guided by the coral compass, the nebula heart, and the hopes of countless dreamers. Ahead lay vast oceans, mysterious islands, and the promise of new friends and discoveries. The journey was far from over, but Anin's spirit burned brighter than ever, a shining light in the endless dance of dreams and destiny. Chapter 24. The Isle of Whispering Winds. The sea breeze grew cooler as Anin's boat sailed beyond Starborn Cove, guided by the coral compass and the nebula heart pulsing softly in unison. Elora stood beside her, eyes scanning the horizon where mist curled around a distant island, an island not marked on any map. "The Isle of Whispering Winds," Elora said quietly. "It is said to be a place where the winds carry the voices of ancient dreamers, and the past breathes through every gust." Luma's ears twitched at the soft murmurs carried by the breeze, while Cairo's glow dimmed slightly, as if sensing the island's hidden power. Arrival at the isle, the boat glided into a sheltered bay where towering trees swayed gently, their leaves whispering secrets only the wind could understand. The air shimmered with a faint golden haze, and Anin felt a gentle pull at her heart, like the island itself was reaching out. "Here," Elora said, "we may find one of the lost starborn relics, a shard of the celestial zephyr, a crystal that can amplify the dream bell's power." The winds trial as they ventured inland. The whispers grew louder, weaving through the trees like an invisible symphony. Suddenly, the wind surged, swirling around them in a dance of light and shadow. A voice echoed through the rustling leaves, clear yet distant. "To claim the Zephyr Shard, one must listen with more than ears, with heart and soul. Face the winds within." Anin closed her eyes, steadying her breath. Images flashed through her mind, memories of joy and loss, fears and hopes. The winds swirled, testing her resolve, stirring her deepest emotions. Drawing strength from the coral compass and the nebula heart, she opened her heart wide, embracing every part of herself, every dream she carried. The gift of the Zephyr shard the winds calmed, and before Anine appeared a crystal shard glowing with soft blue light, pulsating like a heartbeat. As she touched it, a surge of energy flowed through her. The dream bell's melody grew clearer and stronger in her mind. Elora smiled. "With this, your light will reach further than ever." But the winds also carry warnings. The shadow grows bolder. A sudden storm, as if summoned by the warning, dark clouds gathered overhead. The gentle whispering winds turned fierce, whipping the trees and waves into a tempest. From the storm emerged shadowy figures, creatures born of fear and darkness, their eyes burning with hunger. Anine, Luma, Cairo, and Elora prepared to defend the island. The battle was fierce, the winds howling around them as light and shadow clashed beneath the stormy sky. Victory and resolve with the power of the celestial Zephyr shard. Anine's song cut through the chaos, a radiant melody that banished the shadows and calmed the storm. As peace returned, the island's whispers softened into a gentle lullaby, promising hope and strength for the battles ahead. Anine looked toward the horizon, determination blazing in her eyes. This is only the beginning. We have the power, the allies, and the hope to face whatever comes next. Chapter 25. The Hidden Library of Tides. After the fierce battle on the Isle of Whispering Winds, the skies cleared, and the sea calmed once more. The coral compass and the nebula heart pulsed steadily, their light guiding Anine's boat toward the next destination, a place spoken of only in legends. Nereus unfurled an ancient map, its edges worn and delicate. "The Hidden Library of Tides," she said softly, tracing a shimmering path. "It is said to be an underwater sanctuary where the wisdom of countless dreamers is preserved beneath the waves." Luma wagged her tail, and Cairo's glow shimmered with quiet excitement. Diving into the depths anchoring near a tranquil lagoon, Anine prepared for the descent. She donned her shimmering diving cloak, the nebula heart's light illuminating her path as she slipped beneath the water's surface. The ocean welcomed her like an old friend, cool and shimmering with life. Guided by the coral compass, she swam through coral forests and glowing kelp, deeper and deeper into the silent blue. The library revealed suddenly, before her eyes, an enormous structure emerged, an ancient palace carved from pearl and coral, glowing softly with bioluminescent light. The gates of the Hidden Library of Tides opened silently as Anine approached, revealing halls lined with glowing scrolls and crystalline tablets floating in water. Inside, whispers of knowledge and forgotten dreams filled the currents, inviting her to explore the stories of those who had dreamed before. The Keeper of Dreams, a figure emerged from the shimmering shadows, an ethereal being cloaked in flowing robes of seafoam and light. "I am Mirala, Keeper of Dreams," the figure said, her voice a gentle ripple. "You seek knowledge to confront the growing darkness. Here, the wisdom of the ages awaits." Mirala guided Anine through the library's vast collections, revealing ancient prophecies, lost melodies, and the history of the Dream Bell and Starborn. A revelation and a warning among the scrolls, Anine found a prophecy, a warning of a great shadow rising from the deepest ocean trench, threatening to swallow the dreams of all worlds. "The shadow's heart lies in the abyssal rift," Mirala said gravely. "To face it, you will need the unity of the starborn echoes and the strength of every dream you protect." Preparing for the abyss emerging from the water, Anine felt the weight of her quest more keenly than ever. The ocean stretched before her, vast and mysterious, but she was not alone. With Elora, Nereus, Luma, and Cairo by her side, and the power of the coral compass, nebula heart, and celestial Zephyr shard, she was ready. "The abyssal rift awaits," she said, her voice steady, "and we will bring the light of dreams into its darkest depths." Chapter 26. Descent into the abyssal rift. The sun had barely risen when Anine and her companions set sail from the Hidden Library of Tides. The sea before them was calm but carried an undercurrent of quiet tension, as if the ocean itself was holding its breath. The coral compass and nebula heart glowed with a steady light, and the celestial Zephyr shard hummed softly in Anine's pocket, a comforting rhythm against the vast unknown. Elora stood beside her at the bow, eyes sharp and full of determination. The abyssal rift lies far to the south, beyond the edge of the known seas. It is a place where light barely reaches and ancient darkness sleeps. Nereus adjusted the sails with practiced ease. We must prepare for all, storms, shadows, and the unexpected. Luma barked happily, but even her tail wag was tinged with caution. Cairo's light flickered gently, a quiet beacon in the growing dusk. The journey south days passed as the boat cut through rolling waves and shifting skies. Nights were spent beneath starry blankets, where Anine often gazed at the heavens, feeling the weight of countless dreams above. They passed islands of bioluminescent forests, where glowing trees whispered forgotten tales, and reefs alive with colors so vivid they seemed to pulse with life. At each stop, Anine and Elora sought echoes of the starborn, ancient relics and allies who could aid their quest. Meeting the tide callers near a mist-shrouded archipelago, they encountered the tide callers, a secretive tribe gifted with the power to communicate with the ocean's deepest currents. The tide callers welcomed them cautiously, recognizing the nebula heart's light. The abyssal rift is a maw that devours light and hope, their elder said, voice like the sea's rumble. Only by weaving the tides and the stars can it be sealed again. They shared with Anine a powerful chant, a melody to harmonize with the dream bell, amplifying its reach deep into the rift's darkness. Into the rift's shadow with new knowledge and allies, the boat sailed closer to the abyssal rift. The sea grew colder, the waters darker, as if swallowing the sun's warmth. A heavy mist cloaked the horizon, and strange shapes moved beneath the waves, shadow creatures born of fear and forgotten nightmares. Anine tightened her grip on the coral compass and lifted the dream bell, its silver surface gleaming. "We face the heart of darkness," she said softly. "But with every dream, every hope, we are stronger." The descent begins anchoring near the rift's edge. The team prepared for a descent into the abyss. Elora and Nereus fashioned glowing suits of woven light and coral to protect them from the crushing depths and biting cold. Anine carried the dream bell and the celestial zephyr shard, their combined light pulsing like a heartbeat. Together, they plunged beneath the waves into the inky blackness. Into the darkness the water closed in around them, cold and endless. Strange bioluminescent creatures drifted past, some curious, some ominous. The coral compass glowed brighter, casting a path through the void. Suddenly, a colossal shadow loomed ahead, the rift's heart. It was a swirling vortex of dark energy, pulsing with an ancient hunger. The shadow whispered doubts and fears, clawing at Anine's mind. The battle of light and shadow. Anine rang the dream bell, its clear, resonant tone cutting through the darkness. Elora chanted the tide caller's melody, weaving the ocean's currents into a protective shield. The nebula heart and celestial zephyr shard flared, their light weaving into a brilliant tapestry that pushed against the void. The shadow shrieked and twisted, sending waves of despair. But Anine's song grew stronger, a beacon of hope that shattered the darkness. Triumph and awakening with a final surge, the rift's heart shattered into shards of light, spreading through the ocean like stars reborn. The waters calmed, warm and shimmering once more. Anine surfaced, breathless but victorious. The ocean around them sang, a song of renewal, of dreams saved and futures forged. New horizons back aboard the boat, Anine looked to the horizon, where sea and sky met in endless promise. "We have faced the darkness and brought light back to the depths," she said softly. "But the journey of dreams is never truly over." Luma barked, Cairo's light pulsed warmly, and Elora smiled, her eyes reflecting distant galaxies. Together, they set their course for new adventures, to protect the fragile balance of dreams, hope, and the infinite ocean. Chapter 27. The song of the star forged. The ocean sparkled under a sky painted with dawn's soft hues as Anine's boat sailed steadily onward. The abyssal rift lay behind them, its darkness now a fading memory replaced by a renewed sense of hope and purpose. Elora stood beside Anine, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "The stars have whispered to me of a place called the Star Forge," an ancient celestial workshop where the Starborn once crafted their most powerful relics. Near us unfolded a delicate map etched with shimmering stardust. If the Starforge still sings its song, it may hold the key to strengthening the dream bell and protecting the ocean's dreams forever. The voyage to the Starforge, guided by the Coral Compass and the celestial Zephyr Shard, the crew ventured into uncharted waters where the sea and sky seemed to merge into a seamless expanse of glittering light. Nights were filled with stargazing and song, as Anine and Elora worked to attune their spirits to the melodies of the cosmos.